We're two very tired people who have to remember a movie they saw 3 weeks ago. This is gonna be fun. There's the opener.
Sweet. All
All right, so
right.
we're finally
So
catching up on this. Sorry it took so long, everybody. Just there's been a lot going on.
yeah.
Thankfully, the rest of like theater world has been fucking dead for the last few weeks, so it's not
I
like we're
mean,
missing much.
yeah, and they delayed Morbius, so we don't have to worry about missing that.
Oh no! How dare the cinematic masterpiece that I'm sure is going to be Morbius.
yeah.
I think at least we got Moonfall coming out this week.
Really? Oh shit! I didn't realize that was like right now. That's
Yeah,
good. That's good.
this is oh shit.
What?
No, sorry, my screen decided to go. Oh, you're done, and then just turned off.
There's this. There's just this thing where I was like, I still remember when we first saw the Morbius screen like trailer, and we were like, "This looks awful. This looks really bad." But then we actually we saw the second trailer where they made the right choice, where they made it look like when they made it look more like Independence Day, whereas the original made it look like 2012.
Oh, you're talking about Moonfall. I thought you were talking
Yeah.
Morbius.
No.
I was gonna say it's like I don't remember getting that experience out of Moonfall. I mean, I'm Morbius, but no, I'm actually excited for Moonfall. It's just my level of dumb.
Yeah, it looks like a good time. It looks like Roland Emmerich finally finding like that sweet spot again of stupid fun and just ridiculous special effects.
I mean, my favorite will still be like White House Down is still my personal favorite.
I still have to watch it. Did he make Geostorm?
I want to say yes, but I don't remember.
Because it feels like exactly the kind of movie that he would make.
It does.
But it also feels like the kind of movie that someone would make to try to be like him.
Also true. I can look it up later. Anyway, Scream. Scream.
Oh. He worked with Roland Emmerich on a bunch of shit, including the Independence Day sequel. So
that makes sense.
That makes sense. All right. Anyway, Scream.
Oh, if you can't tell, this is my I'm tired and I just don't give a shit pose right now.
Yeah. So I watched the original Scream quite a while ago, but I never got around to the sequels. And this past year, when I saw that the new Scream was being directed by the guys who did Ready or Not, which we were both huge fans of, I made it my mission to catch up. And I was really pleasantly surprised by how good the whole series was. 3 is, of course, the weak point. It was written by someone other than the standard writer, and it took a more comedic approach toward the concept instead of more satirical. So, but it was still pretty solid. And there's nothing quite like Scream in terms of self-aware horror film parody. And you said you only saw the first one, right?
I saw like parts of the first, even though I haven't watched like all the way through.
No, geez.
So like I know enough about it just by cultural osmosis.
You'd be surprised, dude. Like we should watch it sometime. It's a fun movie.
I'm sure I'll watch it eventually. I will say though, like about this one in particular, like just based on this one, assuming it's kind of off the other ones, I don't know if the series is for me.
That's the interesting thing. This one was different. It's weird because, so as someone who's seen all of them,
sure,
it was very interesting seeing how they hit a lot of the beats properly. You know, you had a lot of the things where they had the self-aware commentary on horror films and used that to, fuel your paranoia and misdirection through the movie, which was pretty solid. But then aside from that, this movie did a weird thing with its approach towards sentimentality. Like there were a few points where it tries to get like really serious about a couple of the characters, and it kind of brings the pace of the film grinding to a halt a couple of times.
Dark Jag said
it's not bad. It's just a little clunky. And it
I don't think this movie was bad. It does feel like it does kind of feel stuck within its own trappings, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole point of Scream. Like,
yeah, which again is kind of like, I don't know if this is a franchise I would really vibe with, because I'm usually a big fan of meta humor, but this was starting to grate on me after a while.
That's the thing. Like this one, it hit a lot of the points well. Some of the comedy was really well done. Some of the horror beats were really well done.
Sure, yeah.
But this was also a little more brutal with its violence than the previous Screams had been. But I was always impressed with the Scream movies at just how brutal the actual stabbings were.
Mhm.
Like
See, I actually like the action beats. I thought those were fun. Yeah. Oh, did I lose you?
yeah, there was this whole thing where hello,
Okay, there you go.
hello, all right. There's this whole thing where in the previous Scream movies, I remember laughing and being entertained, but when the actual murders came up, being legitimately like, "Oh shit!" Like just because when the kills happen in those movies, it's not just like a stab, stab, and done. It is a stab, 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 stabs. Like it just goes,
Yeah.
and it really does feel like a holy shit, this is kind of fucked up kind of deal.
Mm.
But I just feel like the previous ones were a little more clever. This is definitely something that's a tribute. It is a soft reboot kind of deal. It is derivative of the previous ones. It's still faithful to the previous ones in a lot of ways, and it did something. It did one of my favorite things that these kinds of movies do, which is they use the built-in tropes and paranoia that you've been trained into after years and years and years of horror movies using them cheaply to make you think that something might be happening, but it doesn't. Like it has the shot where like a character opens the fridge and the fridge is blocking the view. You're on the side, and then they're just like getting something out the fridge, and you're like, "Oh God, there's gonna be someone there," and they close the door and there's nobody there, and like it's just, and they don't even use like a music cue to rev you up. It's just
the way
playing with
framing.
That paranoia. Yeah, and I love that. I love that a lot, and I'm really looking forward to the fact that they're directing Final Destination 6.
I actually am like, I like these directors. I think they are good directors and they have a very unique style and they know how to write. That they make these kind of schlocky horror movies.
And that specific kind of fake out scare though is Final Destination to a fucking T, and I love that. I'm looking forward to that.
And I like that they're leaning into that, especially after Ready or Not. And like, despite my misgivings with this movie, I can still say it's directed well.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's still over. I still found it entertaining.
Yeah. I think the
was
writing,
a little annoyed by people towards the end.
There's some of the writing which is good, and I think the direction saves it.
Yeah.
But I think there's also some of the writing which is pretty weak. And
there's a lot of like,
point of the movie.
Like, do you get it? Do you get what we're doing here? Like, do you get it? Like, yes, I got it.
Yeah, it was a little smoother than the previous ones. God, what was it? Let me see. Scream 5, also known as Scream. Crew, writer. Where was the writer? Okay, Matt and Tyler. Oh, wow. Yeah. See, that's the thing. They didn't even write it at all.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense now.
But one of the writers was on Ready or Not. The other writer was, this explains everything.
What? Okay, you can't just build that up. No,
the writer of both Amazing Spider-Mans.
Oh no.
Zodiac.
Oh no.
The Adam Sandler movie Murder Mystery. The Losers. And White House Down.
Okay.
Holy shit, dude, we came full circle.
That makes a lot of fucking sense.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Oh my god, that makes
plan that. Like that's
no, like okay. Yeah.
That's legit. Like, holy shit. That was,
I mean, like,
what a fortuitous set of fucking circumstances to bring together.
Like,
holy shit. He wrote Darkness Falls. Do you remember Darkness Falls with
I don't.
Fairy? Oh no. Oh.
I mean, like, White House Down has a line where Jamie Foxx, as the president, pulls out like Abe Lincoln's pocket watch he had on that has a bullet in it, and he just says, "Oh, I guess Lincoln saved me a second time." So, like, with that kind of right in mind, suddenly a lot of Scream makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. So that's the interesting thing. So you have that, and you have that guy mixed with the guy who also wrote Ready or Not with these guys.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you can see that weird like mix of bad and good in there.
Yeah.
And that explains a lot, honestly.
It does. It does.
There is still a good movie in there that is
Sure.
worth seeing. The weak points don't stop the whole thing like from being worth watching,
Mhm.
but it could have been better if they probably left that dude the fuck out of everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciated this being um a moderately faithful, like it hits the beats properly. It does what it's trying to do for the most part. It
Mhm.
just could have done it better, but
Yeah.
it could have done it way worse
Oh
too.
God, I'm sure.
So
I mean, like,
yeah, I'm honestly pretty grateful we even have it in the state that it is.
I always enjoy a good whodunit. So like for that aspect, I'll still always like get a kick out of, regardless of how overbearing the meta commentary is. And it does get pretty overbearing, especially when they bring the nostalgic characters in. Um,
Well, I mean, those characters were literally the main characters of the whole series.
of course,
Like,
I'm not saying that it was bad they brought them back, but it's more just some of the ways like the writing around them felt a little shoehorned at times. Uh,
yeah, it's
um,
unfortunate.
especially when you have like the big dramatic, without going too much into spoilers, between Sheriff and Courtney Cox.
Yeah, yeah. But the other thing is like I don't know. I do wish they did more with the original cast.
It would have been nice. It felt like
Yeah,
it
they could
like,
have.
justified their existence a bit more in the sequel in this one.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see them more. And there were certain characters in this one which were just they did that horror movie thing where they were like purposely obnoxious and stupid in some ways,
Yeah,
in a way like it didn't really make sense sometimes. They
yeah,
didn't feel real. Whereas in the previous movies, like in the previous movies, when there was a horror movie nerd just going like, "Man, don't you get it? This is how it works. This is how horror movies are." Like, it actually made sense that that guy was like kind of the dorky horror movie nerd, and this is how his talk. Like, it made sense. It
yeah.
worked for the character.
This one's more like
So
a cutesy Zenzi hippie.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's not as good as the other ones,
yeah.
but
It's
it's
not bad.
still,
Like
I
God
don't
knows,
know. I would say it's on par with Scream 3.
I'd give us a solid like 6 or 7 if I had to like put a number to it.
Yeah, I'm still conflicted about it because I definitely came out of it feeling a lot better about it than I do now, looking back on it a few weeks on.
I was always kind of like on it.
Yeah.
Like it's like they were like they're part. I enjoyed it on the whole. I was still entertained. It was more just like when you think about the parts that grain on you a bit more, you kind of realize how abundant they are in the script.
Yeah, that's how I felt about the sentimental moments and how they like affect the pacing of the movie overall. So
Yeah, something like not great. Could have been better.
yeah,
I guess not as good as the other Scream movies. But that being said, I like these directors. I think they have a good eye for cinema. They
still
know,
better than most horror movies out there with what
especially
it's
like
trying to
schlocky
do.
B movie horror movies. So
Yeah,
like, give credit where credit's due. Like this kind of style is shockingly hard to pull off.
yeah.
And they still know what they're doing, which makes me very excited to see what they're going to do with Final Destination 6.
Oh yeah, no, that's gonna be.
And whatever comes after that, I want to see more original IPs. Right Here and Now was fucking great.
Well, I really want to see. I'm really like. I love the fact that these guys made this weird underground hit kind of movie that um is kind of like a cult classic on its own at this point.
Yeah,
Like, it's not something where everyone's like, "Oh, one of the best movies," but everyone who's actually seen it is like, "Yeah, no, that movie's great.
that was a lot of
It was
fun.
great."
Yeah.
It's not like a 10 out of 10, but it's one of those 8 out of 10s that you will happily watch over and over again because it's just so much fun.
Oh yeah, I watched that
Um,
one with my mom, and I didn't realize how violent it was until I started watching it with her. It's kind of like, oh, a lot of people just explode in this movie, even
but
before the part where they literally explode. And I was like, I don't remember that. Oh,
spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it, buddy.
sorry. Hey, movies up for off for like 3 years now. At this point,
Yeah, but it's not too well known. We should give people the chance to see it.
well, now they know somebody explodes. Too late now. Can I ring that bell?
Whoa.
What?
You know who else is helping write Final Destination 6?
Who's that?
John Watts.
Really?
Yeah.
This movie's getting a surprising amount of talent.
That's interesting. That's gonna be some fun. Yeah, no, it's I really appreciate the fact that they made this movie And even though it wasn't some smash hit, it's still such a well-recognized, showcase of their talent that they've just immediately on the coattails of that, their second and third movies are, sequels in two of the longest running, most respected horror franchises out there.
Absolutely. Yeah. So clearly they're doing something right.
Yeah. And I'm really happy for them. And I really appreciate them getting that recognition. So
Me too.
yeah.
Yeah. I think it's all really after. This one's not a whole lot to talk about. It's enjoyable. Had a good time with it.
Yeah.
Say lovey. So I think we're still kind of getting warmed up over the course of season 10. Holy shit. 10 years we've been doing this crap. Well, technically 10 years in December, as Sarah pointed out, but I'm still counting as 10. So I think there's not a whole lot out right now, so I'm kind of just picking whatever's available. I think you mentioned the Tragedy of Macbeth, which I started watching. So it's on Apple TV, so I can just...
Wait, but you started? You just started and then stopped?
Yes.
Not a long movie, dude.
I have a short attention span.
I understand, but you can't just like start and stop a movie like that.
Sure you can.
No. Respect the craft, Michael.
Dude, it took me a week to get through a 2-hour YouTube video. That's something I wanted to watch.
How far did you get?
I'm almost done. I got like 20 minutes left.
Jeez. To go and see it in the theater. You fucking...
The only one playing was like 40 miles away. I wasn't gonna drive that far out.
That's too bad. No, it was still playing at the Cinearts last time I checked. So
it was not when I checked. So
it's too bad.
Yeah. So
it was.
Fuck you. I'm doing what I can.
Yeah. It was pretty funny when I went to the Cinearts. There was this like I arrived like 5 or 10 minutes after previews had started.
Mm-hmm.
I just looked up showtimes and been like, oh, it's showing today. And then I looked at my schedule for the rest of the week and I was like, I can't go any other day of the week. And so I tried to rush to the theater and found parking and like all that shit. And I get there and there's this fucking lady who's like probably 60 something and just asking the one fucking girl at the front questions about their pricing system and like their matinee pricing.
What?
And like how their schedule works. And I'm standing there like, oh God, like just losing my shit. And she's like, okay, thank you. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I start stepping forward and she's like, actually, one more question. I'm like, oh my God. And so she starts asking and she's like, and I'm like, actually, excuse me, I'm a little late for my movies. So could I just like quickly just get my ticket? And she just suddenly gets really pissed off and she's like, whatever, never mind. You don't even know the answer to my question anyway. And like storms off. And I'm just like,
Christ.
I just like yell after her. I'm like, she's been very patiently talking to you for a long time, lady. And I just like turned to the girl and she's like, thank you. This poor fucking teenager just like, oh, just stuck in this fucking like a captive audience, so to speak, right?
Fucking Karens.
Oh God. But yeah.
I think like I'm not going to the story now, but if you have a chance, look up the intro for the video we did for the first Peter Rabbit, because I remember it was I went through hell to make it to that fucking movie, and by the time I finally got
your
there,
reward was garbage.
and like we watched that video, like you don't even get far, like the first 10 seconds is me ranting about my journey to get there, and it's like, and what did I go through all that trouble to see? Peter fucking Rabbit.
Those are the best ones, dude. I wish we should make a playlist of all the videos that just have really good other stories or weird shit happening.
Dude, we're talking about 10 years worth of material.
Do you remember when we went to when we did the Jesus Rolls review, and like I enjoyed it and you fucking hated it, but we saw this dude in this really weird truck drive by. Like literally, there's a point in the review where we're just talking.
It was like the dragon truck.
Both of us just stop and look. We're like, or I think I stop and look, and you're like, "What?" And I'm like, "That guy's truck." And you're like, "Whoa, what?" And, and for the next 5 minutes, we're just looking at this dude and talking about him. We're like, "Wait, I think he's coming. Don't stare. But like, what is he doing?" And like, oh, he's coming back around. Wait, what the fuck? And just It was, yeah. No, I love shit like that, dude.
Oh, it's fun. That's why I like doing these stream of consciousness, though, just because it does make it more fun when random shit happens like that.
Why not? Why not? It's good
Although
stuff.
we are talking again a set soon. I don't know when that's going to happen, but we're
Set?
talking a set. Yes.
You expect me to leave the comfort of my home at this point, Michael?
Yes.
To do reviews?
Yes.
Maybe.
We'd have 24-hour access. But
oh, that's different.
You see, there you go.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Because if I could if I keep it clean, if I could use that as like a separate music practice space, that would be dope.
I think it'd have to be like through different studios. We have to figure out the license and stuff like that, but we can figure that out later.
We'll just we'll talk. We'll see what's going on.
So
but I would love a place where I could not have to worry about fucking volume.
Yeah, right.
Lady, just
but anyway, in other news, our Paper Girl editorial is going to be released this Wednesday. So if you go check that out when it comes out. In the meantime, we'll see what else we got fucking on the list right now. So thank you guys for watching. See y'all later.